Good morning. Welcome to Adu and the Guru. It's another Monday. And yes, which way Nigeria is a question that we all are asking over and over and over again. What a way to start the show. Well, my name is Adu, and this episode is another version of the People's Parliament. And of course, when the Guru comes on, he'll tell you a little bit more about that. And would like you to join the conversation using the WhatsApp line in the meantime. The WhatsApp number is 0809-234-5913. 0809-234-5913. You can head over to our Instagram at Lagos Talks 913 as well to watch it live, being streamed on Instagram. Now, it would not be Adu and the Guru if there was no Guru, and his name precedes his reputation. He is a veteran journalist of over 40 years of excellent journalistic work, and he is none other than the one we call the walking encyclopedia with a historical perspective. You, our dear listeners, have given him the coinage of the prophet of our time, and I am fast believing that phrase. But he's here today in his capacity as the Guru, Mr. Gordon Atakibuebu. Good morning to you, sir.
Abugu, how are you?
Good morning, sir. Good to see you.
You're looking so radiating that...
I decided to brighten things up.
The Queen of England is getting older, but if she should see you this way...
She might consider.
She will offer. You remember that policeman that was caught in the Queen's bedroom some years ago? I don't know where you were then. The sergeant was caught in her bedroom. I'm talking of something getting to almost 30 years now. And the excuse given by the palace was that the police sergeant was newly posted to the palace. So he missed his way. And good enough, or fortunately enough, he missed his way by going into the Queen's
chambers.
Chambers. She went beyond chambers. He went beyond chambers. So if the Queen sees you the way you are now, she might want to renew her age. She's hitting at 100 now.
Yeah.
She might want to become 45, so she could be functional for all purposes. You are welcome. Let me welcome you to the channel. Oh, good morning, listeners all over the world. Thank you very much. And this is Adu and the Guru, Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. So you are into a very, very happy day. They made already by God. Because I have with me, again, members of what I call the Nigerian People's Parliament. Because the National Assembly, which we have there in Abuja, none of them, or you want to vote that they are representing you well and adequately, no, that would be statement of fallacies. But it is for that reason that the Guru have been able to convene what he called the People Parliament. And I want to thank these two gentlemen with me here now. They are really gentlemen, because people who are called to the bar to learn the act of taking drinks from the bar, how to handle your glass in the bar and all those, they are gentlemen completely. Professor Joseph Abugu is Senior Advocate of Nigeria. You are welcome, sir.
Adu and Guru, thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. Glad to be here once again.
Thank you very, very much. Like as I keep saying, I shall never take you for granted, because I compared you using the Nigerian people's name last week, Monday, for you to come. And here you are. Barrister Fred Nzeako, an accomplished, the way I described it in my broadcast last night, an accomplished economist, development economist, a lawyer with good understanding, a good friend, a man who would always answer my call. Like this last week, you were down a little. You were down with the weather, or in the weather, or over the weather, or under the weather. Here you are today again, sir. Respectfully, you are most welcome.
Thank you, Guru. Good morning. Good morning, Adu.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Good morning to our dear listeners.
Don't tell me that since last week, Monday, you've not spoken with Prof.
And we couldn't speak. No, I told you I was really fine now.
So you must thank me for this, for convening this parliament that is bringing two of you together.
I couldn't even speak with Prof over the weekend. I promise you I will call him.
Yes.
I will have some chats.
Yes.
And, just all of a sudden, I think it was Saturday night, my temperature changed. My body temperature changed.
But I've expectedly anyway.
I've received a good medication.
Expectedly.
Well, unexpectedly, you may say.
No, expectedly.
Why would it be expected? My body temperature.
The new mechanism of slaughtering one another that is happening in Anambra State, where you have a stick.
Is enough.
Is that not enough for your blood?
Is enough to make anyone sick. Honestly, is enough to make anyone sick. Maybe that was why, but thank God I'm up again.
It's good. So, gentlemen, thank you very, very much for coming.
Thank you.
We are going to hit the ground running. The Guru has nothing of his own. I'm bringing this parliament together so that we can do the little we should to help Nigeria to find meaning. Because right now, the uselessness of the amalgamation of 1914, which I called tragedy of amalgamation, what it has resulted to, this hidden contract signed sometime in 1556, when Captain Wedder, the first British man to sail into this zone, after the Portuguese had gone to Bight of Benin, arriving for Forcados in the year 1472 to start shipping operations. All those hidden agreements, they are bringing Nigeria on daily basis to edge of disaster. We have not been fortunate enough to have leaders that will steer the ship out. Even it is looking much better now that we must applaud the founding fathers. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, because they were more practical and they did a few things. They were able to package a federation type of constitution that we had the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which was killed in 1966 by the introduction of the unitary government, and the unitary government introduced by Thomas Aguiyi-Ironsi, the supreme commander of the Nigerian forces. Again, he was assassinated, and one of the allegations against justifying killing him, he was killed, he was assassinated, was that he was trying to move Nigeria to a unitary system of government. And the counter coup happened, and he was assassinated in Ibadan, and because of loyalty, Fajuyi offered to die before any other thing, and he was killed. Fajuyi from Ado-Ekiti. How many years after the assassination of Aguiyi-Ironsi, under the accusation that he introduced a unitary system of government into Nigeria, that he abandoned federal system of government, what do we have running in Nigeria from there to now is unitary system of government. Brigadier General Godwin Alabi Isama called it tragedy of victory. Tragedy of victory in his book. So, sir, we are here to find how we can help. Let me just give the people a background of what the discussion is most likely to come to be. It has been confirmed today that the super delegates that were to come to participate in the primaries of the political parties in Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari has not signed it. As of yesterday, we were told that he sent it to INEC, he sent it to Attorney General of the Federation. I don't know whether that Attorney General even know anything to settle down to about the lawmaking. I don't know. But for today, he remains the Attorney General of the Federation for advice. Well, 2 bills were sent to him. He signed one immediately before he jetted out to pay condolence visit to United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, by the way, is the political capital of the Emirates, while Dubai is the commercial capital, while Sharjah is the workers' capital of that 11 villages brought together to form the Emirates. Very nice place. Now, without signing this the reform in the newly signed 2022 reform bill, which has now become an act. And with INEC saying we will never shift any date, because shifting one date will affect the other date. Please, you gentlemen, will bring some meaning to where Nigeria is ready to. That's number one. Number two, the APC had suspended or postponed or whatever its primaries indefinitely. Could that be because the APC sees something, knows something that Nigerians don't know anything about? What would be the social benefits or otherwise if the president refuses or fails to sign that amendment that is bringing super delegates? Could it be that the number of super delegates superfluously overwhelmed the ad hoc delegates? I think you guys should prepare to give meaning to Nigerians. But for the time being, if time permits, I may want to ask you, friends, specifically, animals in the animals kingdom will not even behave the way my brothers and sisters that we heard of behaving in the northeast, northwest, north central are now behaving in southeast, specifically Anambra State. The killing of those two soldiers that got married to themselves, the video shot is not something you want to look at without your blood rising. Thank God I did not look at it. Then, just a few days ago, a man in the legislature was picked, and while still searching for him, the government is ready to negotiate. They cut the man's head. They brought the head to a marketplace. Is it in Amishi? That is Newe. So in Amishi, they brought the head to the marketplace so that so that many could see the head, while the body was mutilated, scattered somewhere else. Animals will not be so glad they're doing that even in their kingdom. We may want to look at that. And we may want to look at Delta State, that is Professor Abugu, if he's willing to discuss it, because as of last week, he was not here comprehensively with events of course, he's Lagos-based, so maybe he had not gone home for about 3 months then. He did not know, but maybe he will be able to do. That the daughter of James Omovudu Onandefe Ibori, the Odidigbo of the universe, that the daughter could not win election primaries outrightly, that the daughter had to tide going to House of Representatives, tied with another contender or contestant in PDP primaries, where Odidigbo had been acknowledged at the time as the god of the land. If Professor Abugu would allow, we may want to talk a little about that. Now, we want to look at the arrests made by the FCC in the last 1 week. The Accountant General of the Federation, Idris, he's from Kano State. He's from Kano Town. To me, foolishly took only 80 billion from the coffer. When he, because of his position, being the man distributing the money, doing everything, he could easily take 8 trillion. Why he went for 80 billion, I don't know. That arrest was made. Madam Speaker, who was Speaker House of Representatives,
former
Speaker Ete, she's from Oshogbo. She's from Igbos or something, federal constituency of Oshogbo. But the husband is from the other side. And she was a seasoned hairdresser. She could dress hair for Obama wife even. Then she found herself into the National Assembly. She became a speaker. The first thing she did, which shows that she's not really rooted in the corrupt system of Nigeria, was to renovate her office at a cost which was heightened more than 25%. No, 25 times the real cost. And give it to her secretary. She did not know that was corruption. Of course, that showed her the way out, and another person was forced to take over. Then the contract in 2011, where she's not a board of directors and everything, she facilitated it. And again, this woman now allowed, immediately the first batch of money was paid, the total value of the contract, the money paid to the company was higher than the total value of the contract. Then immediately the first payment was done, 130 million naira was transferred to Madam directly. She doesn't, it's like she doesn't, up to now, she doesn't know the trick. The predators of Nigeria political zone, which they call themselves gladiators. The method they use, moving the money from one place to another place until probably it will land in Dubai. Then you collect your dollar and walk away. She doesn't know. Then the former managing director of the NDDC, the EFCC also arrested him. The EFCC chairman has a function. As we talk now, he's with the president in Abuja. Otherwise, I invited him. I guess using the phone. He had told me that, oh, the guru, anytime you want me, I will come. But of course, he cannot. I'm seeing if I may be able to have him tomorrow or Wednesday. So these are a lot of things we have to talk about. Let us start the immigration services also came as another point. The immigration man told us that there were 1,490 illegal routes in and out of Nigeria. If the man fails, I will not blame him, because it is not his duty to block those. Nigeria government, when they say we close border, all of us were laughing, because they closed nothing except the bedroom of some people. So the man talked. We may not discuss it, because this afternoon, by the grace of God, I'm meeting his representative in Ikeja to discuss this before I come to public opinion. So, once again, you are welcome. Professor Abugu, I have to come to you first, because Fred had agitated the other day that I can't come to him first when the Lele sick is sitting. What is happening in Delta State? There is like a tsunami in the primaries conducted for PDP yesterday. What is happening in Delta State? Please be brief on that, because that is not the...
Well, what is happening in Delta State is not peculiar. And the issue of elections being conducted with ad hoc delegates to the exclusion of the statutory delegates, what in the United States they call super delegates, is a tsunami that has taken the entire political landscape. And so the primaries have taken center stage already. They've kicked off. And what you are seeing is the interplay, arising from the fact that primaries are being conducted only with ad hoc delegates.
Only?
Ad hoc delegates.
Okay. Yeah. Without the super delegates?
Without the super delegates.
Okay.
And you see, in Nigeria, some of these things are quite unique. You see the Electoral Act dealing with composition of constitution of delegates for party primaries. It is an aberration. You see, why should there be a uniform standard for the collation of delegates for APC, PDP, AMPP, NNPP, APGA, and all of that? These are actually things that should have been consigned to the constitutions of the individual parties.
Okay.
so that we don't need the National Assembly to pass an act permitting PDP or APP to say that this will be the rights of the individuals that could take part in party primaries. Okay, but that's how unique the aberrant provisions, how we run, this
presidential system of government. We will come to the national. I will want two of you to bring meaning to the ad hoc super delegates. But for now,
yes, Guru, I just said this by way of background.
Yes.
Now, so specifically, specifically when you talk of Delta, now what has just happened is, you see, when you take away the statutory delegates, okay, you are left with so-called grassroots people elected at the ward level. Okay, 3 per ward. Okay, in Delta, you now talk of about
10 per local government.
10 per local government. Okay, so when you have that kind of arrangement, you see, those individuals, many of them are not directly under the control of, quote, godfathers or the political leaders. The way the statutory delegates are under their control. The statutory delegates, the party leaders or the so-called godfathers, dictate the appointment of all those persons. And so to have concrete lines of loyalty that can be exerted upon.
Oh, Prof, please let me stay with you for 1 minute now.
Yes.
Is the dynamics of ownership of the political ground the data changing, given the fact of ground now that Ibori daughter had to tie up with Ibrapa, 34 votes. The third person had no vote. That Uduaga daughter, who was to come into the State House of Assembly, was thrown out without a single vote, and that Okowa daughter was accepted and we returned unchallenged on this thing. Is that a fact that, just a minister, is that a fact that the dynamic of political ownership of the land, the god of the land, politically speaking, is now changing in data? Just a minister.
I do not think it is changing.
Okay.
I actually think that everything is still the same the way it's always been.
Okay.
Why do I say so? You see, the office of the executive governor and incumbent governor is enormous. Political patronage, business patronage, social patronage, welfare patronage, all revolves around the office of the governor. And so every incumbent governor controls a lot of authority. So if you view that vis-a-vis the powers that an ex-governor or a former governor wields, there is always the possibility that the stakes are not equal.
Okay, thank you very much.
And so it remains the same thing.
Okay, thank you very much. We may come to that later. Barrister Fred Nzeako, thank you very much again for coming.
Thank you, Guru.
Please, can you help us to make sense to the reason, you may not know it totally, to the gameplay that is going on now, starting with the APC, but by the vicarious liability, they call it in law, now at the KUBAD or the political party. Why do you think, in your opinion, that the president is not speedily consenting to this bill? We are talking of 84.8.
Yes.
Section 84, subsection 8.
8, yes, of the 2022
that bring in
Electoral
super delegates.
Yes.
And the super delegates at any given time will be times 3 of the ad hoc delegates, because they are what in your mind? What is in your mind that the president might be thinking of for the
you know that Section 84 had caused a lot of brouhaha in the past, especially subsection 12, which had even led Mr. President to bring his own version of an amendment after he has signed the Electoral Act. That Electoral Act of 2022 had received a lot of bro-beating. When it was passed, the President signed, and suddenly Mr. President found out that something was not right in his own dimension, and he brought his own amendment, which was thrown overboard by the National Assembly. Mr. President felt so irked, and then he sent the Attorney General to go and see what he could do. And I made the Attorney General to go to Umuahia to go and procure.
To go and purchase.
To go and procure what some people describe as a mushroom judgment by the Federal High Court sitting in Umuahia.
Yeah, that's Madam.
By that Madam, which has been thrown away by the Court of Appeal, and is a subject of litigation at the Supreme Court, even as we speak. Now, the same National Assembly that threw away presidential requests had found out that they shot themselves in the foot by the omission, terrible omission in that section
of 84. Locking themselves out of the exercise.
In that section 84, they locked themselves out, locked out every other person,
including the
president, the governors, and the rest of them. All those statutory delegates, by mere pronouncement of section 84 subsection 8, they are all left in the cold. Now they run back to begin to ask and plead with the president to sign that. Mr. President will easily tell them, you guys have my trap don't catch you now. You guys were bluffing. Today I will bluff. He may even give them option. Accept my own and I will accept your own.
Rub my back and rub your back.
That is all.
So were they poorly informed? Didn't they counsel with counsels like you before they came up with that insertion?
No, I think it was a very terrible omission. But that expresses the type of people we have in our legislature.
At the National Assembly?
At national level. I can tell you that it is an expression of a lot of round pegs we have in square holes at National Assembly.
Are these holy square holes?
Legislative drafting is a serious business.
Yes.
And it takes a man with tact and takes a lot of intuitive understanding whereby you think back, think front, think right, think left, so that you'll be able to cover the grounds. Even though at the end of the day, you may not cover all ground, but at least this one is a very easy one that they left open. But I think they were more interested in hunting for something else, and they forgot their dang gun at home. And they now got shot in the leg.
I love that analogy.
Thank you very, very much, friend. You are bringing me into this thing. Okay, let us move the narration. We may come back to all this, but let us move it a little further. Last week, the Northern Elders Forum made a pronouncement to the literal man, to the ordinary man on the street, like those of us who just ordinary man, bringing a translation that if this cannot be done and this is to be done, why don't you allow those who want to go their own way? I am not talking to the deeper interpretation, because if I go to that would be a different. The presidency now accused the Northern Elders Forum of instigating separatism. Again, this question will come to you first. I will go to Prof with another question. What is your... Can you bring meaning into this?
Guru, you came to me because you felt I'll be happy with separation.
No, I have nothing in mind.
I'm the king of...
you know I'm a bushman. Let's go.
Guru, I think it was a statement made out of inordinate consideration. I can, with due sense of responsibility and with respect to Hakim Baba Ahmed, who made that statement, it was reckless. Utterly reckless.
Please, can you tell us first of all the statement?
And very irresponsible.
You know I'm not lettered. I'm not...
Utterly reckless because...
What did he say?
He said, why not allow the people who want to go. He was making reference to the Igbos. That if the Igbos wanted to leave Nigeria, why not allow them to leave?
Okay.
And that was a very reckless statement. Nigeria fought a war of attrition between 1967 and 1970 and lost a lot.
We lost about 3 million people.
Just to keep the unity of the country together. And even though the injustice meted on the Igbos had not been solved up to today, but there are templates, logical, meaningful templates that will address the injustice and ensure that we remain together as a nation. That template resides in restructuring, anchored on true fiscal federalism. Instead of the Northern Elders Forum to begin to think and talk about that, Hakeem Baba Ahmed would recklessly make such inordinate statements. Of course, the presidency expectedly had to respond immediately, but I felt that they would have arrested Hakeem for that recklessness.
Who were you expected to arrest him?
The government.
Which government?
Security agencies.
Security
The
agencies of
police,
which government?
the SSS especially, would have at least invited him over to come and explain why he would make such a
the same way they invited Sheikh Gumi.
What's the name of the person you said made this statement?
Hakeem Baba Ahmed.
Hakeem?
The publicity secretary.
No,
Hakeem Baba Ahmed. Yes.
Does that name sound like Urubu man or Fulani?
He's a Fulani name.
Okay,
He's
go
a
ahead.
Fulani man.
Okay, go ahead.
But I expected the SSS to call him over and then ask him some questions as the National Publicity Secretary of Northern Elders Forum.
Okay, hold it there. Hold it. Thank you, Prof.
I do not share the views of Fred on this.
No, please, I will come with you. But we are going to minimize the time now. No more than 2 minutes. So.
Okay.
First and foremost, the South did not amalgamation was done in 1914, sir. Please, in your thought, bring us up to date, but briefly on this matter.
Yes.
And in the negotiation of Nigeria to collapse it to one the North Protectorate, the South Protectorate, the Lagos colony, was signed somewhere in Calabar, October. I've forgotten the date now. 26 people sat there, only 6 are Nigerians, and none of the 6 Nigerians put pen to paper. Take it from there, sir. Did that amalgamation of 1914, one, has it expired? 2, has it not collapsed in 1966 when the federated constitution removed? Then Ahmed Baba Hakeem called that if you want to go, let us go. Can that not find root in the United Nations Declaration that if you don't want, there is a process for you to go? Has that not been established in some countries like the Sheikh and Co? So, share your thoughts along this question.
Guru, let's deal with realities.
Okay.
The reality today is that we have a federation, a federal system of government that is not truly federal.
Thank you.
And it's not working.
Thank you.
It's not working security-wise. It's not working in terms of cohesion. It's not working in the sense that there is no spirit of nationhood amongst all the various nationalities that make up this nation. Now, but we have a constitution that guarantees free speech. What we have been grappling with is a system that tries to muzzle opinion. We're grappling with a system where those in government assume a very paternalistic posture of knowing what is right for everybody. And they want to ram it through whether we like it or not. And that's why I don't share the view of Fred. If every person who says that recognizing the peculiarities of this country today comes up to say that, look, is it not better for us to dismember this country voluntarily? It's not necessarily an anarchist. in the same manner, those who hold the view that the solution is we can remain one country, but we need to restructure the federation, they are also entitled to their view, to that view.
That's good.
So these are alternatives that are facing all of us. And I don't think it inheres in any individual or leaders to assume to themselves paternalistically that they know what is best
for all
Nigerians. Take, for example, former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes.
He ruled this country, as a military head of state.
Yes.
And then came back and ruled this country
democratically
for 8
elected.
years.
Yes.
Now, in those 8 years, he could not bring any meaningful program for the restructuring of the Nigerian Federation to address, because he's been in the saddle twice.
Yes.
So one expected that he had a greater insight than everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah, but he couldn't do anything. But
like
now,
as Barr is going now.
Exactly. But now, out of government now, you hear Obasanjo, raising hue and cry, oh, there is an Fulanization agenda. Oh, there is war coming in Nigeria and all of that. But this Baba had the opportunity to make meaningful change.
And he did nothing
about it. And
he
didn't. Because as at that point, he assumed this, what I call this paternalistic thing. Attitude that, he's the father of the country. He knows it all. He knows what is best for us. We must keep Nigeria one at all costs. And so we must not restructure. And anybody who gives such an opinion, is an enemy. Please. The bottom line is, let's have an opportunity to be able to decide voluntarily from the grassroots. If it is by way of referendum, it's by way of some political conference, like the one President Jonathan tried to do. Unfortunately, he did it at the tail end, of his administration, and he couldn't bring meaningful effect to the deliberations that we had. Maybe would have advanced a little bit. But please, let us be free to discuss whether we want to remain as one or whether we want to restructure and how that structure should be achieved for the purposes of keeping Nigeria one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Fred, I'm back to you.
Very quickly, Guru, before you come back to me.
I'm coming back to now.
Oh, yes. Good.
Because I know you want to react.
No, very, very briefly.
To what the professor
I want to agree with Prof. Very strongly, yes.
You want to?
Yes.
You want to agree?
I want to agree with Prof.
Okay.
On the grounds that there's freedom given to everyone to air his view on how he feels we will move. My only grouse with Hakim Baba Ahmed's statement is the hypocrisy embedded in that statement.
Okay.
That's my grouse.
Okay.
If he was saying that with all sense of responsibility, I wouldn't have had problems with him. Because he also was part of the leaders of the Northern Elders Forum that scuttled the idea of referendum, restructuring, and even the product of the National Conference.
Even the 2014 National Conference. Yes.
They all went against it, and they even, I remember he did a write-up advising President Muhammad Buhari not to touch that
document.
That document.
Yes.
Now, that same man, today, because we are talking about power shift to the south, he now made that statement out of a bad side of his heart. That was my issues with him.
Thank you.
So that is where I agree completely with Prof.
Okay.
That if he sincerely meant it, I can tell you, we have referendum that will give us a way forward. We have restructuring that will give us a way forward. And if at the end of the day, the result is such that some people will now go, or that the country will now be dismembered along the lines that will bring development, security, and growth for the people, so be it.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. That is why it is not very easy sitting with lawyers, because at the end of the day, you will be compromised into the uncertainty position of the law itself. So thank you for this. I come to you once again, before I go back to the Prof.
Yes.
Many travelers abducted as bandits block Kaduna Abuja highway. This was last week. at a time that the Nigerian Railway Corporation is trying to reintroduce the services of the rail in view of what happened a few months ago. By this, the bandits have demonstrated once again that they are in control of the land of Nigeria. I want you, sir, to just oppose this against the fact given to the government and to Nigeria by the former managing director of Bank of what?
Bank of Agriculture.
Bank of Agriculture, who was among those abducted but released. Don't forget, while he was in captivity, the bandits made him to speak on camera in video message. When he said, it is not the money the bandits need, but he did not say what the bandits need there. But having paid the money, I don't want you to articulate who probably paid that over 200 million naira that released the man. Please don't tell me about that. Now, having paid the money, the man came out, and the man was now in position to talk. That before 2015, the promise given to these people we now call terrorists or bandits was that they should come to help for some people to be able to take over government. And in place of that help, the reward will be the land of Nigeria. And this man spoke something like this. Now the bandits are gone again now, block the road, the same as in Kaduna, Abuja. Block the road and took people away. They were there for hours operating. Sir, is it a time for Nigerians to suspect the beginning of this so-called banditry or terrorism? And is it time for Nigeria to think wisely that there might be a collaboration from origin between Boko Haram, what they demanded for, and what these people want to achieve, that what is there is the land of Nigeria to be taken over? And who, in your suggestion, I will allow 3 minutes for this because it's late. Who, in your suggestion, would you ask Nigerians to hold responsible for all this abracadabra?
Let me start from the last.
Yes.
I hold Mr. President responsible. Not just because he is the commander-in-chief. All the security agencies report to him. Secondly, remember in 2013, Boko Haram had mentioned him, the then General Muhammad Buhari,
yes,
to be their lead spokesperson.
Yes. And they mentioned Professor Wole Soyinka
in their negotiation with federal government then. Remember also that when Jonathan's government under General Hejika were hitting Boko Haram very hard.
Yes.
President Muhammad Buhari led
General Muhammad
Buhari led northern opinions that an attack on Boko Haram was an attack against the north.
Yes. So record that,
by the time you now put all this together, you now begin to ask, what was the origin of this banditry? And who are the bandits? What is the difference between bandits and terrorists? Boko Haram was named terrorists. It attracted international attention. Every country of the world wanted to assist because a terror in one country is a terror all over the world. So the federal government quickly said terrorism had been defeated. They have been decimated. They have been decapitated. They have been technically defeated. They have been decapitated. That there was no more terrorism in Nigeria, and what we had are bandits. They now baptize terrorists to become bandits because it is not the same gun that you use to shoot terrorists that you will use to shoot bandits. Even ordinary dictionary meaning and definition of bandit is entirely different from that of terrorists.
Yes.
But we now know that the activities of the so-called bandits are exactly the same as the activities of the terrorists. So why would the federal government want to give them such baptism? Because some people are now beginning. The lid is being opened and the worm is gradually crawling out. People are beginning to understand the origin.
Okay.
And when they said that the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, knew what they wanted, And they said, the bandits themselves said that the federal government knew what they wanted. And then you now begin to go back to the issue of colony that federal government mooted. They called it Ruga.
First of all, colony.
First of all, cattle colony. Ruga, it moved from cattle colony to Ruga settlement.
Yes.
It moved from Ruga settlement to some other things that wanted to take land and give to nomadic Fulani herders.
And the federal government asked the Attorney General to bring a gazette of
a gazette of 19
and the routes
and to grazing route. In fact, they started from grazing route
and bring them.
When the issue of grazing route collapsed, they now went to the issue of cattle colony. When that one collapsed, they went to the issue of Ruga. All those were attempts by the government to settle some people whom they had somehow made promises to prior to 2015 election. When some people said that why PDP then was preparing for election, some elements in APC were preparing for a showdown other than election.
Yes.
And they had to bring in people to help them. These people are now the ones making demands. They are more or less stranded. In fact, some of them had even made statement through Gumi, through Shey Gumi, that federal government knows what they are asking for. That they want them to meet up with the terms of the agreement.
And it will be exposed
for
now.
Which they brought them back to Nigeria.
This man who came in and mentioned that the land and sovereignty.
That is pure and simple. Recall that there was a time they said, oh, we won't send agric products to the south. And they started blocking roads. They were settled.
Some at Bashita to Ilorin there.
They were settled with about 500 million. And money continues to go. Why would government, many state governors in the north, continue to settle bandits, try to do all manner of things to placate them? But they have found out that it was difficult to placate them. And today, what they are now doing is to redistribute them across the entire federation. During the COVID...
You want to round up now?
Yes, I'm rounding up now. During the COVID era, many truckloads, when there was sit at home, when there was no movement, many trailer loads of people of unknown identities were shipped to southern Nigeria, to eastern Nigeria, and to western Nigeria, and to south.
Mostly some Dangote trucks.
So, that is the fallout of what you are seeing today.
Okay. Thank you.
In the whole of southern
Thank
Nigeria.
you very much. Prof, your erudite meaning, please bring it to it. But please be brief, 3 minutes, because we've short our time now.
Well, the facts as chronicled by Fred, which are also in the public domain, are very clear that there is some element of culpability on the part of the leaders, in this country.
Which of the leaders, sir, you want to say now?
When I say leaders, I mean the government.
Okay.
Particularly at the federal level.
Okay.
Take the attack on the rail line.
Yes.
The train between Abuja and Kaduna. And then take also how insecure the roads between Kaduna and Abuja have become.
Yes.
Even in the past few days, there has been another incident on that same highway.
Yes.
Now, this is just a stretch of a part of this country between Kaduna and Abuja by road and by rail. All those who were taken away with the Minister for Agric, about 60-something of them.
The former managing director of the former managing director
of the Bank of Agriculture, about 60-something of them are still in captivity.
Yes.
Okay. Then there are daily or weekly raids on the Abuja Kaduna expressway. Then you wonder what kind of leadership you have. Are you saying that the Nigerian army doesn't have a SWAT team? In the US, when things like this happen, they send a contingent of Marines.
Yes.
Those who will survive in the forest, who will survive in rain, and survive, under the water, who can handle any weapon, who can enter any forest. Hey, what kind of military structure do we have? That we don't have a SWAT team that has been able to identify where 60-something persons taken from a moving train have been kept. How about Miss Lee, Shuaibu Lee, and all the people that were hijacked from the students that were hijacked?
That's it.
How many years now? Their whereabouts are still not known. Those who kidnapped them have not been, dug out of whatever tunnel they are. Now, what all of that tells you is that government is ineffective, and these are the reasons some people are saying that all these are signals of a failing state if we have not already failed.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that. Okay, only one more question. And please, if you can narrow it down to 30 seconds in answer. Fred, I will take your question from a different zone. Prof, I will take a question from a different zone. But in answer, please help me by narrowing it down to just 30 seconds. Fred, what has become of Anambra?
It's a very terrible development. So terrible that even as we speak, we don't know what is happening. And that is why we lay the blames. Well, I wouldn't call it blames. We lay the expectations of the people at the footsteps of federal government.
Federal government again.
Federal government that has all the instruments of intelligence and all the instruments of coercion. They should be able to unravel what is happening in Anambra. If they are not complicit, they should be able to unravel and help the people of Anambra State. What is the size of Anambra? Anambra is a fully built up environment, almost fully built up.
There are no forests like Sabisa.
At all. What is the size of Anambra?
What's the name of the forest in Kaduna?
What's the size of Anambra? That does not even have adequate arable land to plant. And you want to tell me that the state will be continuously be terrorized and nobody knows who is causing that, and you just very easily call them unknown gunmen, and they're terrorizing the people on a daily basis, killing.
Unknown gunmen attacked the Nigerian Defense Academy the other day.
I mean, it is terrible.
No, that's the latest nomenclature.
It is terrible.
To use to.
We expect government to tell the people what is going on.
Okay.
And to come to their assistance. The people are now in trepidation, in fear, absolute fear.
Okay.
Yesterday being Sunday, if you, I placed a call across, and they said everywhere was deserted. Everywhere. So people now prefer to stay indoors.
Even the indoor is not safe. The local government, they went to meet him, broke his door down, and first of all shot the only son, and then before taking him away.
So I was going to ask you, sorry to interject. Do you think the visit of the Anambra State Governor to the leader of the IPOB, that was circulated and clarified by his press office, do you think it will have any effect in the forthcoming days? It will
be a cheap excuse, a lame excuse for anybody to begin to say the happenings in Anambra, the terror in Anambra has to do with IPOB. IPOB, by their classification, has said from day one that they are not violent.
Okay, but the Eastern Security...
The Eastern Security Network was established by IPOB.
Hold on.
Yes.
Is it involved in matters in Imo State?
Eastern Security Network was essentially established to defend, underline that word, defend the people, especially in the forest.
Is it involved in the terrorism going in Anambra State? The terrorism in Imo State, the terrorism that arrived a few minutes after Supreme Court sworn in the governor for...
The people who run IPOB have said times without number that they are not involved.
Okay.
And we expect the government to prove them wrong.
Okay.
All right.
Are you saying, sir, I'm coming to you, sir. Are you saying, therefore, this may likely be the case of the Etogoni that must be killed in order for
what is going on, I think what is going on, according to the minds of the people, is that some terrible people have been brought into the southeast to unsettle the peace of the environment.
Can't you feel any conspiracy between those people brought you as suspected and some individual political leadership in the southeast?
There is outright attempt to tarnish whatever image that IPOB has. Outright attempt. When ESN was first established, they were all in the forest. And up to today, IPOB authorities have said, if you see any ESN member on the streets, arrest him, he's a criminal. That their own is to be in the forest and flush out the killer headsmen that go to occupy the forest and do not allow women and men to go and farm. That is their duty. Okay. And that all those people that are killing people on the streets and everywhere are mere criminals and they are not elements of ESN.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Sir, Prof.
Yes. You said you are coming from another angle.
Yes,
so
the questions, there are too many questions. Unfortunately, the only enemy we have is time. Now, I don't know how to construct your questions now, but let me put it in layman's way. Do you have any fear for 2023 general election? Is there anything in your brain telling you that it might not be general election in 2023? Do you have any fear for what probably APC might be seeing that we, the remaining Nigerians, are not seeing in matter of these super delegates and ad hoc delegates? Do you have any fear in view of what of one of your learned colleague, the respected Sikh, Robert Clark, had said that another Francis Atoiziribe is coming into the scene, the political scene of Nigeria. Please, all this collapse there together in less than 2 minutes.
First, I believe strongly that the elections we hold, to think otherwise is to invite chaos.
Okay.
So I believe whether in the process we wumble and fumble, but the elections come 2023 we hold.
Okay.
As for the APC, I think you're probably alluding to the fact that they postponed the screening of their presidential candidate. I don't see anything ominous about that, frankly. What I simply think is that the APC is displaying some form of political sagacity in managing the crowd.
And the 100 million naira fund.
Yes, yes, because if they were to screen the candidates without some form of interaction, and the screening then narrows the spectrum, the number of candidates, the likelihood is that it may have a tsunamic effect for the APC.
Okay.
Some aggrieved ones may decide to move on to some other political terrain to be able to further their ambitions.
Okay.
And so, before screening them, that's why I call it political sagacity. They are trying to bring everybody to say, look, one, you fill the form where you have voluntarily signed that you can withdraw at any particular point in time. Now we want to screen you. We cannot all put all of you out there to go into these primaries, but this is what we'll do for each and every one of you. Let's see how we can accommodate you within the party. Even if it's just assurances to say, look, even if you are screened out, know that you are on a particular list, you are noted, and something will be done in the dispensation that is coming. So they're actually just displaying some political sarcasm.
Thank you very much, sir. Because
very brilliantly said by Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much. Adu, please let our people. We'll have less than 15 minutes, which is true. My apologies, listeners. Please, I think what you heard today must have been big enough. So Adu, bring them out fast. And please, again today, I'm giving each caller half a minute, please.
Okay, this person says, good day, Guru and Adu. I'm an ardent listener of the program. I wish to congratulate you on historical perspectives. They are educated, especially to the young ones. I'm tempted to ask for your views on the following questions. During the first election, the NCC came first, MPC came second, Action Book came third. It was a huge parliament, and Zeke, as educated and knowledgeable as he is, then had to choose the party to align with. Azikwe chose the Northern Party and agreed to be a ceremonial president with no powers, possibly with the connivance of the British. Do you think if Azikwe had been prime minister and aligned with Awolowo's deputy, would Nigeria have not been different? Especially as the Southeast has been saying they have never ruled Nigeria before.
Very short, very, very short word. The result, as we enumerated here, are not correct of that first election. I have video clip that detailed everything, and I have facts but we cannot go into that today. And I will not want, the Guru will not want to go into that before 2033, February and March. The sleepy dogs must be allowed to lie. Go on.
Afam says, good morning, Adu and Guru. PMB hasn't signed or amended the amended electoral bill. It's not shocking. I've always maintained he is no Democrat. As for the crisis in APC and even PDP, I hope it continues, because these goons that have kept Nigerians in perpetual bondage need to implode from within. It's in fact that Nigerians are now endangered. It's not a fact that Nigerians are now endangered species. How can people survive with the rate of inflation and the utter mess this have created? Insecurity everywhere. Where's the governance? Okay, Tony from Ayobo says Sonia Kosu must have to come back to sing that song again.
He listen.
It's a shame.
Which way, Nigeria?
That's almost 30 years ago. Wow. Okay. Olafang Bagada says, good morning, Adu and Guru. That song started. He says it's still going to be continued. It's going to continue to be relevant to 2023. We have a dilemma in our hands. Unrest in the southeast and the north. If the east doesn't get the presidency, it continues. If the north doesn't get the presidency, Boko Haram continues. He says, I don't know what to do. Olafang Bagada says, I've given up. Okay, phone line 0809 234 5913, 0809 222 0913, and 0151 50913. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, please.
Good morning, Adu. Good morning, the Guru.
Your
Good
name?
morning.
In the studio.
Good morning.
This is Akpa speaking, the Guru.
Oh, Akpa, you have a minute today, please.
Okay. Prof, you have said it all. Obasanjo failed. Buhari came and failed woefully. The both of them was one time head of state and president. What did they bring to the table? Only, in short, they brought hunger and big fraud in Nigeria. Like I said before, Obasanjo is the genesis of the problem. He had the power in 1999, but he could not do anything about it just because of selfishness and greed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please. Your
Good
name?
morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Guru. My name is Barr from Lagos.
Okay. Half a minute.
I would like to. Okay. I would like to disagree with the guest in the studio about the ESN and the IPOB. I'm an Igbo man, but let us tell ourselves the truth. The witch cried at night, the shout out in the morning. If you listen to the preachings of the leaders of the IPOB, it's always violence. We have seen videos of these guys in the street waving guns and machetes. If you hear personal stories of what's happening on ground, this is not a matter of not IPOB. They are the ones behind everything.
Okay.
We should not pretend to ourselves if we want to hear the truth about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred. You hearing that? Go ahead, Adu.
Hello. Good morning. Okay, let's go to Twitter as we quickly look at what our friends are saying on the bird. Izu Na Omabala says, good morning, Adu, Guru, and our wonderful guest. Says, may God bless you, Prof, for your sincere truth about what is happening in Anambra State. Arinze Ejike is the one who made that statement on Twitter. P Master says Buhari is the grand patron of Boko Haram terrorists before he became president of this country in 2015.
But there's no evidence of that. He was grand patron of Miyetti Allah, not Boko Haram. So let us bring things we can substantiate. Go on.
Adejeji says Nigeria is actually an asylum, a place for mentally incompetent and balanced people. That attributes and traits is what is displayed and visible everywhere. That's why the country is retrogressing. He goes on to say, Barrister Fred, you chickened out from a free check presented to you by Ahmed Baba for the liberation and freedom of your people. It seems he doesn't know what he wants. Freedom can come in any shape. How it comes in the issue. Prof, I think you're spot on. Theo, responding to our question, says nothing is wrong. We asked a question about the APC suspending primaries on Twitter, and he says nothing is wrong. They are simply waiting for PDP to do their own first.
Okay. You go back to the phone?
Yes. What a response. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Adu.
Good morning, Bola. Quickly now. Go ahead.
Well, good morning.
Money, half a minute, please. Half a minute.
The killing in the Southeast. No, that's what we call. They start attack us. They attack me and Solomon very well here. You see, when you ride on top of lion, you ever hand your journey is belly.
No, tiger.
Yeah, I mean tiger. Sorry. They said they don't even know that you get to this. No, what happened now? The boy people cannot control this boy again. They don't have power or don't have their power again to control them. And if they are not talking, what we have seen as small.
Okay, thank you.
Please stand up.
Thank you. Please bring another call line.
Hello. Turn off your radio. Call us back. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning
Your
to
name,
you.
where are you calling from?
Good morning. Good is John from Bejileki.
Okay,
right,
John.
John,
Half a minute, please.
Okay, sir. Good, what I want to say is that the way you people spoke today at the studio have shown it clearly that the people in Nigeria, they want to go their separate ways. You know, before you people were painting this thing, you don't want to come out to say the truth. And I think this one that want to remain in Nigeria are the lazy people, because they feel they want to enslave the others. The people that are hardworking, they want to go and develop their place. But the lazy ones don't want. They want others to labor for them so they will enjoy. And it's not fair. Let us go. Good day.
Thank you. You take one more.
Who is the lazy one in his analogy? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, sir.
Please, I just want to say something. All this boils down to our judiciary. Our judiciary is not independent. We are still subjected to the federal government. The day our judiciary becomes independent and they are able to come out and bring this thing out to book and send whoever needs to go to jail or wherever, then Nigeria will be able to go forward. But as long as the judiciary is not independent and they're under the clause of the federal government and political officials, will still continue like this.
Thank you. But the best is not a trial here today.
Back to our friends with the pen. Says, good morning, Guru and Adu. The killings in Nigeria is unfortunate. The South is asking for a referendum which should not be difficult to introduce to law by lawmakers. We all must now amplify the need for restructuring and a new constitution. That's the only way to solve the present challenges. Benga is the one speaking there. Ken says, I call them cannibalistic terrorists of the eastern Nigeria. That's when we're asking for the names of the unknown gunmen. This person says, Adu and Guru, you both look gorgeous. Picture of he took a screenshot of us on Instagram. Thank you. We have the Prof and Barrister Fred also in the studio. Morris says, good morning, Guru. Regarding the current security situation in the East, the elites in the East are to blame. Says they stayed aloof and quietly supported agitations of IPOB when the president said he would treat them in the language they will understand. They all went against the president. Now the monster has grown uncontrollably. Rashid says, Guru, I think whenever you invite a girl, please always ask him or them to speak for much more time so that they can give us the audience.
It is not my fault, too. I'm trying my very best.
It says you're marginalizing us.
Sorry, my apology.
Somebody is advocating for us.
Samuel says, good morning, Oga Guru and Assistant Pope Adu. Our government has abandoned governance and they're busy with politics and how to win the elections. Peter Obi will concede to Atiku, the VP, because I know that Atiku will pick him again as a running mate, and after 8 years tenure, Peter Obi will take over and the power will go to the southeast. This is the game PDP wants to play, and it will really favor Peter and the southeast if he does. I wish he plays his cards well.
No, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Stephen.
Go ahead, Stephen. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Lagos.
Go ahead. Half a minute you have now.
Yeah, thank you, Gunu. According to the topic this morning, you know, we always come to complain. We always come to complain on phones. Our leaders didn't want to hear. This country is running on the way of destruction. Look at what's happening now. They kill somebody. At the end of the day, they started killing people, burning down things in Sokoto, burning down things in Abuja. A center of power. Something is being burned in there. They are killing people. Then nothing is happening. The president did not give orders in order for things to get ready done. Look at people who were kidnapped from train matter. Then nobody has talked about them.
Okay.
Nobody has talked about them.
Okay.
Now they are planning to for the train to start working again. And everybody is turning head and step.
Okay, thank you. Your time is up, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Your time is up. I think, again, those of you claim you have been marginalized, the time is up. We have a time. We must take our exit. The time is up now. But don't worry. The only time that you will debit to as my liability is the time we lost between the beginning and where we should have started. So, but please, I will make sure you have this. But thank you for this discussion. What the Guru just did is to convene what I called Nigeria's People's Parliament, so that we hear the other side that is flowing from the source of wisdom, source of knowledge, source of understanding. And I think we heard it last week and we heard it today. That is why at the end of the day, all of you should please help me to thank my guests who left. These gentlemen are very, very, very too busy. The two of them sitting here, too busy. And Fred was even sick up to yesterday. But when we spoke yesterday, he promised me he will come in spite of the blood that went up. It is not malaria. It is the killing in Anambra State, because he is a major stakeholder in Anambra State. So we appreciate them. Now, back to data. As I draw the curtain, tsunami had come up, and more tsunami is expected. In data, the umbrella, the socio-cultural body that stands. Prof, please. I know you are not listening to this, and I really don't want you to listen to this. That is why I'm saying this, because you are already out. You are not listening to it. Now, the Urobo Progress Union, which is the second longest socio-cultural group in the whole of Africa, next only to the Africa ANC, African National Congress, found itself in an illogicality that can never be explained on the altar of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, when it went ahead to endorse candidature of one of theirs in one political party. David Edewie was endorsed by the Urobo Progress Union as the person they endorsed to be the candidate, then to be the governor. in a place. What happened to all the remaining Urobo who are bona fide members of the UP in other political parties? I even give because it was a challenge that nobody would understand. I gave the UPU opportunity. I invited the UP leadership, Moses Tiger, to come to this studio to spend 1 hour with us to explain why they did that. The UPU chickened out. To me, that is not leadership. Leaders should be prepared to take responsibility for what matter that is prevailing behind it. President, he called himself president or head of state. Ibrahim Babangida said that I am trained to take command and to be very cautious of my environment and to stand to defend what I say or what I do. So the UPU missed a golden opportunity. Today, the fallback is part of what we are seeing now. I wouldn't know that either the UPU is a department in PDP or not. But that is left for them. The opportunity given to them, they messed it up. And they started reaping. More tsunami will come from that end. We are not going to wait necessarily for Indonesia. More tsunami will come. And what is coming from Delta State is most likely to be what may be coming from, because there is lack of sincerity in taking us to an election of 2023. I will stop it there. There is lack of sincerity in taking Nigerians to an election of 2023 come. Please, you can follow me on Twitter at Godwin _Buebu. Buebu is spelled as Buebu. Godwin _Buebu.
Guru, you mentioned my name at the beginning of these statements you have just made. And I think it behoves me to tell you that I don't share your pessimism on this matter.
We are 3 minutes after when we would have gone away from this studio.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much. So then you can go to my website, www.godwiththeguru.com, and please, in this matter, the whole of this week, I shall be uploading a video to my channel in YouTube, Godwin the Guru. Godwin the Guru. Every day it's a very tedious work, but then, like as I said, I went to bed to sleep last night 3 a.m. and of course I left my house 5:15, and I'm tired, and I have the appointments I have ahead of me. But every day there shall be uploading of video to 4-5 minutes. Please follow, because we shall discuss everything, including Delta State, where Odidigbo. It's okay. Then again, Facebook, Godwin Etakiwebu, or please go to a page created on Facebook, which is Vetra column. The V of the Vetra is capital letter, the C of the column is capital letter, and get this done. So the discussion continues. By the grace of God, on tomorrow I shall be here for Money Right. Wednesday I shall be here. Then next week we shall continue with the parliament. Not necessarily pulling these bigger men. Each of them had the capacity to swallow me up 300 times over. So, but I will end by saying, Professor Joseph Abugu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor of Commercial Law, University of Lagos. Thank you very, very much for coming.
Thank you, Guru.
Barrister Fred Nzeako, a very seasoned lawyer and economist to the largest head of the largest development economist. Sir, thank you very, very much for coming.
Many thanks.
I appreciate you. I cannot do without thanking you, because you made the navigation smoother.
He was given a new title today. I hope you took note.
No, Pope. No,
Assistant Pope.
No, I gave him that title
really?
long time ago.
Assistant
Pope, Africa and Asia Affairs. Rhoda, thank you. Thank you for a good job. So, until next week, when we shall meet on these topical issues, this is the Guru signing out, but do something for me, please. Keep yourself out of trouble. Bye-bye.